Some very important stuff in Guild Wars 2 is time gated by weekly time gates, and a lot of that stuff is also very lucrative. Today I want to show you all the weeklies that I do and that you should do as well if you want to maximize your gold gain. I'm Simmer, and without much further ado, let's jump right in. Not all of the stuff that I show to you might be valuable to you, but I want to show all the stuff that is weekly locked. So if you want to maximize your weekly gain in any kind, watch this video completely, because then you know what to expect and what to get every week if you are looking for the most efficient way to get things done. So this video is split into 3 parts. First part is all the PvE activities that you can do solo. So this includes vendors and achievements that you can easily do without having some group or some instance you have to do. The second part then includes all the PvE content that needs a little bit of organizing. So it's instance content like raids and strikes, but more on that later. And the last part is all that is world versus world related. Now let's start by talking about the Wizard's Vault. Of course, the Wizard Vault is an incredible tool, and it gives you so much stuff for just playing the game. Especially the weekly thing is also very important to get the highest amount of points, astral acclaim, that is, per week. And you just try to aim to get as much done as you can to unlock the 6th bonus here and get the highest chest. And of course you can also go for all the others as well. Be aware though that this is depending on what you chose here. So if you choose to go for PvE or something else, the goals will be different and some of them will be harder to achieve than others. So always try to choose the type that you play the most or that you enjoy the most to go for. So I chose PvP because I feel like that's the easiest thing to achieve. Just play some ranked matches and you will get it in the end. World versus world is also quite easy if you play those game modes. If you don't have any fun doing competitive modes, of course you have to do PvE. But I feel like PvE stuff can be a bit, let's say, not that fun to do or not that easy, because there are some things in there that are not, in your normal routine, but it's fine and you can complete it very easy as well. Just be aware that if you change this, it will only reset after the next reset. And of course, then you get a lot of gold or rewards by buying the stuff in the Wizard's Vault using the Astral. So you should do that as well. Next are the festivals. Not all the time in the year there are festivals, but currently there is the Halloween festival. And I would always highly recommend to do the weekly vendor. You can find him, this time it's in Lion's Arch. Just talk to this guy and buy the stuff that you feel like it's worth for you to buy. Especially for the Halloween now, I would say there is not that much that is worth to buy. But you can go for what you feel like is worth it. You should always check that up. Especially the skins, if you're a skin collector, can be very useful because you don't get access to them any other way. So going for those is important if you want to collect more skins. All other stuff is easily obtainable otherwise. Also something you should do, there's always in the festival section, when a festival is up, the so-called weekly festival achievement. If you want to collect skins, like I said before, you should do these achievements because they will always give you a special box with special skins that you only can get by doing this. So if you want to collect the skins, you should do this, and it's resetting every week. So you have, when a festival is up, 3 to 4 weeks where you can complete this every single week. If you don't want to do this for the skin, you can stop after half of it because you just get the gold from selling the candy corn cup and the chest is not important to you. By the way, if you want to know how to complete this very quickly in just 30 minutes or something, check out my video link in the top right hand corner. Before I continue, I would like to tell you that only a small percentage of you are subscribed. So if you enjoy this video and want to help me and my channel, please subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Now back to the video. So the next thing I want to talk about is the antique summoning stones. These also reset weekly. You can buy them here in the Aberstone area here and talk to this guy, and then you can see there are 5 antique summoning stones that you can buy each week. If you buy them all the time, you can stack up quite quickly on those. If you don't need them, you can sell them. It's nice. Every single one costs between 1 to 2 gold, and it's worth. If you have enough currency, you can buy all of those. If you, for example, want to save up your Imperial Favor, you could stop buying Imperial Favor and just the other 4s because they are way easier to obtain. The next thing I want to talk about are Mystic Clovers. They're a really important component in all kinds of legendaries, and they are somewhat luck-based. So you have to use the Mystic Forge and gamble for them to get them. In the end, on average, you will get them all with the same amount of investment. But if you want to have a secure way of getting those, and also on average a cheaper way, you can talk to every week to this NPC here in the Mistlocks Observatory or in the Mistlock Sanctuary Pass. And then you can see you can buy 10 Mystic Clovers for Fractal Relics, Mystic Coins, Globs of Ectoplasm and Spirit Shards. So all the components except the Fractal Relics that you would normally use for your Mystic Clovers. But here you are guaranteed to get 10, and it's worth it if you want to go for them. So you can see that the weekly sales of the Strike Shard vendor for the blue Prophet Shards, you can now buy not only Mystic Clovers but also Mystic Coins. So even if you don't have a need for Mystic Clovers, you can still get value from just buying some Mystic Coins every single week. You can buy 10 for 10 Prophet Shards and 1 Spirit Shard each, so that's really cheap. Should always go for that. And the Mystic Clover, if you need them, you can also buy 5 of those for guaranteed on this vendor. Really good as well. So the next thing I want to talk about is if you are going for any kind of open world legendary armor, or any legendary for that matter that needs rift essences, you should go and do the weekly rift hunting. You can see it here in the weekly rift hunting tab under Secrets of the Obscure, where you can see that there are 3 maps rotating and the 3 Soto maps are always there. Just do those and get some extra rift essences by doing this. And another thing you can do is go to the Garlitgor NQC in the Wizard's Tower, or use the Wizard's Tower portal exchange, like you can see here, this item, and then go to the weekly sales, where you can then have a large selection of stuff that you can exchange. You can exchange exactly 42 per week in total, and you now can choose whatever you have an abundance of. For example, if you don't need any elegy mosaics, you can use those, or if you don't have any use for Edge Chili, you can use those, or of course Ascended stuff. There's a lot of stuff to choose from, so if you don't need any of those currencies, you should always go for this, because this gives you some neat extra coins every single week. Another thing you can do weekly is to farm a Black Lion key. The easiest way to do this is to level a new character at least to level 10 to unlock the level 10 story. And then you complete those 5 story instances, and at the end of those you will get 1 guaranteed Black Lion key. And then you can delete the character again and do this next week again. Of course, you need a character slot, a free one for that, and you need some time investment. To level the character to level 10, of course, you can use some level 10 scrolls, or you can even use Tomes of Knowledge if you have an abundance of those. So there are multiple ways to achieve that, and it's easily done. You can see on the screen which stories you have to finish, but it's very straightforward. It's always the level 10 story instance that you unlock after reaching level 10. So there's nothing you can miss or do wrong here. There are some story instances that are faster than others. There's quite a lot of optimizing you can do here. I won't go into detail in this video though. So you can also do the weekly Jade Vault. You have to hand in 4 Jade statuettes to get some Imperial Favors and some other valuable goods, which you then can sell, and you get access to this vendor where you can buy, for example, the stuff you need to craft the Generation 3 precursor. So that's it for the solo content you can easily do. And now to the instances where you need more people, or at least a little bit more organization. So first I want to talk, of course, about the strikes. Starting with EOD, the strike missions became weekly locked, so that means that you can complete the strike missions whenever you want, but only once a week you will get the gold reward. So you should do all the weekly missions once to get the maximum amount. especially if you do it on the week where it's on the day where it's daily, it's perfect. But if you complete 4 of the End of Dragons ones, you will not only get extra profit shards, but you will also get 1 legendary insight and some extra gold. When you then combine that with the weekly Secrets of the Obscure side missions, you get some even more profit shards and some gold as well, and that's only 2 you have to complete. And every single one of those strike missions also has a challenge mode associated with them, so if you want to go for the maximum gold and the maximum value, you can also go for those, because they give me much more rewards. Daily strike missions give you some nice rewards as well, but the IBS, so the Icewood Saga strike missions, so the first 3 per week will also give you 1 profit crystal, and these crystals you need for a special chest in the Eye of the North. I would recommend to do this, because then you can easily get the blue profit crystals. Otherwise you would have to exchange them for blue profit shards. You can do that as well, doesn't matter, but it's much easier to just do the dailies 3 times at least per week as well. And then you can go to this chest here, where you can see there are 5 hums. If you complete all of those hums, it will include the Whisper of Jormek, Shiver Peaks Pass, Cold War, and one of those in the Raven Arena strike missions, and of course Forged Steel. So if you complete all those 5, you can get the maximum reward of this chest if you interact with them, and then you have to confirm that you open it with 3 profit shards, profit crystals. You can open it with lower amounts of profit crystals, but it will have lower rewards then, so you should always aim for going for 3. And you should also try to have the maximum amount of orbs lit up, so you have tried to get the most rewards out of this. But of course, if you say Cold War or especially Forged Steel is way too long, you don't want to do that, you can just open it with lower orbs present, and it's still worth the effort. Just be aware that this is weekly locked, so you should always try to do this whenever you have enough hums lit, and then you can easily get the most reward just by doing all the stuff that you would normally do as well. So before I talked about the weekly rift hunting that you can easily do, but if you want to get even more rift essences weekly, you can do the weekly convergences. Of course, you can do them daily for rewards, but the first 3 each week give you extra rewards. I would highly recommend to do at least 1. Gives you some nice gold as well, but you can also of course do much more by getting those tiers as well. It's really good if you want to farm rift essences. And of course, and it's also a no-brainer, if you play raids, you should do the weekly raids, because every single raid boss in Guild Wars 2 is weekly locked. This also includes the CMs, so if you can do the CMs, you get even more rewards, but only once a week. So if you want to do those, especially if you need the legendary armor of raids, you get only there you get the legendary insights and from some strike missions. So you should always go for this, and it's also some nice gold that you can get for the amount of time if you clear them rather efficiently. So the last section is about World vs. World. World vs. World has its own weekly stuff. So the first thing I would highly recommend is to go for the World vs. World weekly achievement. It's really easy. Just do some World vs. World, whatever you want, roaming, circ play, just play it a bit, and you will get most likely a lot of those achievements done. Each single one will give you some tickets that you normally don't easily get, and some mist-hardened lockboxes, which you can get either sell or open for some, might be some good infusions in there that you can easily sell. Most important part here is the weekly Mist War hero achievement. So if you can complete 3 of those achievements I showed before, you will get the first tier, which will give some keys where you can open the chests, but also some straight up 4 liquid gold. If you then go for even more, 6 of those, you get the second tier, which gives you another 4 gold and some more keys. Really good. So it's really easy. Just play a bit and you get some nice extra reward. Would highly recommend to do it, especially if you're in need for those tickets, because you otherwise won't get them that easily. The next thing in World vs. World is, of course, you should go for the chests. So if you can max out your full chests and go for the last reward of the diamond chest, of course you get the maximum amount of tickets you can get per week then. But if you don't have that much time, that's fine. The only thing I would recommend really to do every week if you're a World vs. World player is to go for the last reward of the wood chest. Not because it's that crazy good, but it will give you in the next week the completed wood division pip extra. So you will get 1 more pip every week just by completing the wood chest, which is summing up over the whole amount of the pips that you get per tick, and it's actually quite a lot of pips that you get from playing every week consistently to the wood chest. So the last thing I want to show in World vs. World is this so-called dungeon vendor here, where you can talk to it and then you can buy some weekly stuff. For example, even more Mystic Clovers if you need them. But be aware, those cost tickets, so if you want to save them up or buy some other stuff with tickets, these are rather pricey. And all of the other stuff you can also buy. Some of this might be really worth it to you, others might not be. For example, it's really good to buy the boosters, because I really like to get more World vs. World experience. You can buy 8 of those per week, or you can even buy some instant World vs. World experience if you have the emblems lying around. I used all of mine, but if you have more of those lying around, you can get a lot of experience from doing this. But that's not the only thing you can buy here. I would not go for the feasts here. I would also not go for the siege blueprints. I would, if you can avoid it, also not go for the crafting bags. It's rather expensive. You can buy some more lockbox keys if you need them. So oftentimes you get more chests than keys. If you then buy 5 every week with this, you get enough to unlock the chests. But be aware that this of course costs 10 silver and some badges of honor. If you don't want to waste it, you can also save it up, because you will get keys from the achievement as well. If you think I have forgotten something, please let me know in the comments. Like this video, be sure to leave a like. If you want to see more guides like this, be sure to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next video.